Hello and welcome back to another live session with Nana Ayebiafo Jnana, a mistake and a life coach. How are you doing, sir?
Yeah, I'm doing good. Yourself?
I'm doing good.
It's been a while.
Yes, sir. Where have you been?
Been traveling here and there. Yeah, recently I went to my village. I say my village, and people say no, say your town, but town village, the same thing to me. Dumasia. I was there probably 3 weeks.
Okay.
Yeah, we went to have a lot of development there, and within that short possible time, trust me, if you go there now, you'll be surprised. We'll be able to change many things. So, yeah, I was there all this while. I came back to Accra some few days back.
You've been trying.
Yeah, it makes me happy,
Yeah.
I was actually born to serve, so service makes me happy. I remember the last day of the whole program, we did general cleaning of the whole town. So everybody was having the broom, whatever it is. So I was having my own long broom. And as I used to do in the temple, I sweep. In the temple, I sweep daily.
Okay.
So when I started, everybody said, hey, Daddy, and I'll give you. I said, no, what is it? No, wait. The work is huge. If you want to do something, go and find some broom, go and do your own. Allow me.
Okay.
So we started around 6, 7. And throughout the whole program, I was sweeping. So everybody was shocked. I said, well, why? I mean, just the name Nana and Jnana, what is so different?
Maybe we are not familiar with serving because many people, when they come into power, they
probably
say
that's what people think. But when it comes to Krishna consciousness, we serve. We don't engage juniors to serve. The seniors serve as a sign of example to the juniors.
Okay.
So when it comes to the temple, I sweep. In the morning after our normal morning worship, we call something karma yoga. Physical service towards God. Karma means action. The karma, action and reaction.
Yeah.
So karma yoga means action in the service of God.
Okay.
So not just sitting on the asana and preaching about God, but it gets to a point you must do something with your hands. So during karma yoga, all the leaders in the temple, some take a broom to go and sweep, some goes to the kitchen, some fetch water. Everybody is doing something with their hands. That's karma yoga. So sweeping has been something that I've been doing all this while cleaning, cooking. I've been doing all this in the temple. So throughout the whole day, we were all engaged, sweeping, and we were sweeping dust, actually. We were not just sweeping rubbish alone, dust, because we did a whole lot of construction job, both left and right. We did all the pavement with concrete. So we were sweeping all the dust from the road, right from the top to the down. Then we came all the way to the left side. Everything was clean. So
Wow.
I did so much. And to me, that was normal to my life routine. But I think people there were thinking, it was surprising because I have an executive member of this Nkoso fan club. So they are the leaders. So they were standing there guiding people. And they saw me with the broom and they were sweeping. So they're coming to me, no. I said, no. The work today is huge.
Okay.
So if you want to take my broom, you want to sweep, go and find your own broom and go and sweep. Allow me to sweep.
So did they join you?
So everybody joined. Because I mean, the person you think that he's supposed to be a leader, he is sweeping.
Yeah.
So what will you do? You'll be forced to sweep.
Yes.
And I think I got to a point, my uncle was telling me, Nana, why you be a yes? He said, why you can't be a who said, and I'm saying, no. I am not doing because I want people to see. This is what I do. We are doing cleaning. Everybody must get involved. And I'm doing to the end of this program. I'm not saying, okay, I've done some, come on. No.
For the cameras.
No, for cameras. I was just sweeping. I was just doing it right from the beginning to the end. And even there are places they told me that they have cleaned already. To me, I felt, okay, let me just go and inspect. When I went there, I saw they were last. I said, no, this is not properly clean. I started sweeping and they came following me. So we did a lot. So after the whole thing, I was very tired. And trust me, I was just happy. After the whole exercise, someone took a video. I didn't know.
Okay.
So the person sent a video on the on the Nkoso fan club page. I was like, what? About 300 people.
You couldn't even get space to walk through.
Yeah, people were just following me. I said, what? So this thing happened. So I was very pleased that a lot of people came. So I would say, I'm so grateful to the Dumesuya chiefs because they give us their full support. And then the citizens of Dumesuya, they did so well. The passion was so much. Everybody was, I saw some old people, women and men alike, and everybody was so involved. I was like, wow. So this is possible. We are doing it. So Dumasia this time around was hectic, but trust me, I was so happy. I was smiling all through because I could see that, yes, we have the human resource and people are ready to support. So Dumasia is on the way of development, and gradually we get to a point that people will appreciate it.
We thank you very much.
God bless.
Before we move straight to our topic, we've been engaging our members on YouTube. Some have been sending their questions, and this is a new segment. So if you are watching this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and ask your random questions, and we'll be asking Nana for you. And one member asked, and Ethiopians aren't using the world calendar as we know. They use different calendar. So the member is asking, does the world predictions affect Ethiopia? We dig out some facts about some of the Ethiopian calendar, so I can read to you.
Sure.
Okay. So the Ethiopian calendar is based on the ancient Coptic calendar, which was introduced by Egyptian astronomers around 25 BC. It is a solar calendar that consists of 12 months of 30 days each, with an additional 13 months of 5 or 6, depending on whether it is a leap year. The Ethiopian calendar is approximately 7 years and 8 months behind the Gregorian calendar. This is a calendar outside what we all know.
Sure.
It is believed to have been influenced by the Egyptian calendar and was adopted by Ethiopia during the reign of Emperor Augustus.
Yeah.
In the 1st century BC, the calendar holds great significance in Ethiopian culture and is used to determine important religious and cultural events.
Okay, the first thing is that we don't have only one calendar.
Okay.
We have many calendars, you know. The most ancient of all calendars is the Vedic calendar. You just mentioned of the Egyptian calendar, which is very old also, but you'll be able to identify which year was this enacted. But when it comes to the Vedas, there is no history to it. Modern history would say 5,000 years ago.
Okay.
That's when the Vedic calendar started. But the truth of the matter is that before the time that has been stipulated to be the beginning of the Vedic information, it is just in the middle of it. Before that time, the Vedic knowledge was still in existence. So this is the whole idea. When any manufacturer came out with a product, like say this iPhone, he does so with a manual to guide you how to manipulate through the device. So, you know, if you buy any new product and you find it difficult how to work with it, you want to look for the manual.
Yes.
Yeah, the manual, even cars, new cars have these things. You have to go through it and say, okay, I'm supposed to do A, B, C, D to start the engine and all that. So this material universe, not our world though, the material universe, which consists of thousands and thousands of universes, and each universe consisting of thousands and thousands of planets. So you can just imagine, there's no way science will be able to calculate how many planets we do have. So uncountable planets altogether is considered to be the material universe. The material universe was created by the Most High, like a device. And there are manuals. There is a manual to guide us how to do things within the material universe.
Okay.
So that manual, the name is called knowledge.
Okay.
But in Sanskrit, it means Vedas. So Vedas literally means knowledge.
Oh, okay.
So the knowledge to guide us through this material universe is what we call the Vedas, or the scriptural information for us to govern this material universe. So the Vedic calendar has been in existence since time immemorial, right from the day the material universe was created.
You cannot put a date on it.
You cannot, and even this material universe, the day it was created, nobody is able to put a date to it. Because we have stories that predates about 10 million years within this, our current universe. We have stories that talks about things that happened 10 million years ago. Within this, our current universe. Don't forget, after creation goes through 3 processes.
Okay.
It goes through creation, it goes through maintenance, and it goes through destruction.
Okay.
So there has been many creations, many maintenance, and many destructions.
Okay.
But our current universe, there are stories that predates 10 million years ago. Okay? So the Veda has been in existence all these years. So the Vedic calendar is somehow or the other different from the Gregorian calendar, and different from the Arabic calendar, and different from many other Coptic or whatever calendar we have.
Okay.
But one amazing thing is, the engineers of these calendars are not mere people. They are not mere ordinary men. They are seers. They are psychic men. People that have the ability to look into the future. So, for instance, the Gregorian calendar is different from the Vedic calendar. But the Constantine and his own chief men, people that came out to create all day, Sunday, Monday, up to Saturday, month, January to February to December, they were mystic people. Okay. So even though there has been some reorganization of the whole calendar, but the ultimate essence is not missing. That's what I'm trying to say. Okay. For instance, in the Gregorian calendar, we start from January to December, but from the Vedic calendar, it is not from January. It's between from April and May. Okay. Not necessarily from 1st June, but in between that area. The Islamic calendar is a little bit different. The Chinese calendar is a little bit different. But the engineers of this reintroduction of new calendars, they were all mystic people, not ordinary men. So they are able to understand the spiritual intricacies of all this information. They will bring it and give a different name. So the date might not be the same, but the essence of it becomes the same. Okay. For instance, at times, you'll be surprised that maybe the calendar of 1983 corresponds to the calendar of, say, 2022. That daily, like the date and the month, everything is the same. Why? Because they want to tell you that the occurrences of that year will exactly be what we were experiencing in the subsequent year, or the same year that matches up with all the days, the time, and whatever happens in that calendar. Even though, say, for instance, 1983 is so many years ago, but you check and say maybe 2021 matches 1983. What it means is that the Sunday in 1983, the same Sunday will appear in 2021. Okay. In which month, in which week, exactly matches everything. So what should tell you is that all the events and all the things based on the constellation of the stars will be equal to whatever happens in 1983. The same thing as compared to, say, 2021. Okay. So what I'm trying to say here is that the creators of all these calendars, whether it be the new one or the old one, they were mystics, they were seers. So even though they might give a different name and even with a different date, the same example I gave you, 1983, probably is having the same details in 2021. Why? 2 different years. But why are they giving information that will correspond to each other? Because they know that the occurrence based on the constellation of the stars in that year will replicate itself in this very year. Wow. So, yes. So as those are watching us, some of them might be able to even tell us that, okay, this year's calendar and that year's calendar was the same. Because I do remember some time ago, I went to Kofi TV and someone asked me that question. So quickly I went through and I noticed about 3 different kind of dates apart, but they were corresponding with the same information. So I know those are watching that they might even be able to tell us, okay, this year's calendar and that year's calendar was exactly the same.
I think it occurred last year or last 2 years.
Every year, the year matches a previous year. Okay. So even the 2023, I might not be able to tell you when, but if you go through it, you might be able to see that, okay, 2023 matches a year so many years ago. The same dates, the same weeks, the same month, and the same everything. Okay? So the whole point is that these engineers of new calendars, they are seers, they are mystics, so they are able to get the information of the cancellation. The name might be different. So for instance, the Egyptian calendar or maybe the Ethiopian calendar goes, say, 7 years, 8 months, before ours. But 2023, we gave a lot of predictions. And all the things that are happening unfold. Yesterday, someone spoke with me and said, Daddy, we are in Europe. They came to me yesterday, actually, I worked yesterday, came from Sweden. I said, Daddy, we came to Ghana October. We have been in Sweden for many years. But the kind of snow we are experiencing in October, we have never, ever experienced for about 20 years we have been in Sweden. That it is serious. What is happening there? And right from the beginning of the year, I said this. You go to Ethiopia and see all the things that I spoke of that has been happening in other places now. Same thing will be happening there. So yes, the calendar might be different, but based on the constellation of the stars, the information will be the same.
So we are all under one umbrella.
So you might choose to say, okay, this year is maybe 2020, or maybe this year is 2005. But the stars, the element that are manipulating the system, they are still there. Okay. So the same information, if Ketu is in operation, there will be terrible weather conditions. And Ketu is operating this year. So you can choose to call, okay, this year is maybe 2000. But Ketu is operating, you will never push Ketu aside. And if Ketu is in operation, he misbehaves. Okay. All the things that happen. So the calendar might be different, but the information will be the same, because these new engineers of these calendars, they are psychic, they are seers, so they will look for the information. And then they might give some name, okay, this year is whatever year, but it's the same thing. It doesn't change anything. Okay. Unless you go to Ethiopia and all the things the world is experiencing. Ethiopia is not experiencing the same thing. There are things, every day I'm online, I'm checking news. And every time they will tell you, for about 40 years, about 20 years, they are experiencing this for the first time. There are many, many news like that. And we said this right from the beginning of the year, that this year, when it comes to the weather, we come to finances, we come to health, everything this year is going to be special in a very bad way. And if you go to Ethiopia, you go to China, you go to Egypt, everywhere they are experiencing the same thing. So what it means is that they might have different calendars with different naming, but the consequence or the essence of the troubles and the good things that we go through, everybody is going to experience it.
Thank you very much. And no one is excluded.
Yeah.
The member that asked this question, I hope you are satisfied. If you have more questions, please comment under this video, and we will be asking you in our next videos. Today's topic, we want to actually delve into the spiritual life of Nana Ayebiafo Jnana.
Wow.
Yes.
You want me to talk today? Plenty things. I say.
Yes. The mistake we see now wasn't the mistake we all, how do we call it? We all knew 5 years ago or 10 years ago. There's obviously a story behind it. So we want you to share with us and encourage people who are embarking on this journey. They can learn from your mistakes and your achievements.
Okay. Let's go. Thank you. I never thought a day like this would come for me to sit on a set and specifically narrate about my life in regards to how I started this, do I say, new life of mine, especially somebody who want to evolve, somebody who want to emancipate his soul and all that. I would say that I've been telling people, whatever happens in life, somehow or the other, has been created from our previous life. 70% of the things that happens to us is based on our karma, and the 30% is our own free will. So probably I would say from my previous life, maybe there's some connection like that. Because my father was a magician.
Okay.
I didn't meet him performing magic. When I was born, he was no more a magician, but people that saw him will tell you that he was a very powerful person. My mom tells me what my father used to do. My mom told me a story, a funny one, that a friend of my father those days had an issue, something had to do with documents or something. So the person went to the police station and it was like, forgery something. So according to my mom, my father was invited, he went to the police station to see the friend. So when he went there, they were having discussion with the police, and my father took the document. And the man said, because of ABC, that's why we want to charge him. My father said, no, but according to what I'm saying, it is not different from the reality. I mean, everything seems to be genuine and nice. The policeman said, no, I was having this, and so take it and see. So the policeman took it, and then the document is changed to something that is original.
Instantly.
So the man was like, but why did you change this? I said, no, but I just took it from my hand. This is exactly what. So maybe you guys didn't read it properly. So the man was, so he looked at my father. My mom told me this, not my father. So the man was just looking at my father for a very long time. I said, I was having this document and this thing was fake. So no, maybe you didn't look properly. And there are many things like that. So he was that person. He was powerful according to those that saw him. Probably, maybe that time if I was born, I would have something else. I didn't meet him when he was a magician. There are many, many things people speak of about him. So maybe I would say, maybe in my previous life, because I have some inclination towards mysticism, that's why I have to come through. But later he stopped. It's not so much. He doesn't have money. My father is not wealthy. Fortunately, he built his own house, but after many years before I was born, later they had that problem. He got broke down, but we've been able to build a new one for him. What I mean is that he doesn't have money. Yeah. So from there, I remember very well that my father was a very religious man. And my mom. And I've been saying this, that when the Seventh-day Adventist Church, SDA, came to our village, our town, Dumesu, where I am, because we're here now, we used to worship in my father's living room. I remember my father had a house that was 4 bedrooms. So one is chamber and hall. And the chamber, and the hall, it was big. So that's where we used to have our church service every Saturday. I remember that very well. And then we used to sleep. My father and my mom sleep in the chamber. And then we used to sleep in the hall. And our seniors sleep in the other rooms. That's what we have in our church all the time. So that should tell you my father was very religious, my mom too, and all of us. So all my siblings, we are all SD, right from childhood. And we go through all of us, SD people. So I used to read the Bible a lot. And the Sabbatarians have this belief that if you don't worship on Saturday, it means that you are not going to God. Especially if you worship on Sunday, it's considered to be an antichrist and that kind of thing. They have that kind of philosophy they propound all the time. So I was very strong with that. I attended the Roman Catholic school in Dumesu. So I had the Bible. So during the break time, I'll call them, just come and have this discussion on the Bible. We want to prove to them that Roman Catholic is from evil and that kind of thing. They are not going to God because they worship on Sundays. And there were many quotations. See, SDA, they learn. They really study the Bible, so they know what they're talking about. So I was that kind of serious with religion. I remember my mom, on Saturday in our house, we don't light any fire in our house.
Why?
Because Sabbath, you are not supposed to work.
Wow.
So my mom cooks everything on Friday. By 6 p.m., she's done with maybe the banku or with the kukunte, whatever it is, and she have a way of keeping it the following morning. The soup will still be hot. That's what we eat. So in our house, Saturdays, you don't see any fire. My mom used to sell. And if somebody is owing her, you come to pay on Saturday, she will tell you, take the money and come back. After Sunday. She was that serious. I want to get, she was that serious. So, like that. Then I remember when I was in class 6, Hare Krishna people came to our town, and I remember this very well. As I'm speaking, I can really see that scene. I was with my father, class 6. He was holding my hand, and after their normal preaching, my father asked questions. I can see, standing there with my father, he was asking questions, and he was kind of convinced. So after that, he bought some things, some oil, some soup, and some things, and incense and books from my father, from the Hare Krishna people. I was in class 6. I didn't know what it meant, so I didn't use anything. So when we completed SS, one of my friends had to resit for mass. So he didn't pass. So I remember I went through my father's books. After secondary school, we were told my father was a magician. And that time, students, we were looking for powers, things like that. So I started going through my father's boxes, like maybe if I can see some juju something or some magic something. So one day when I was going through, I saw a book called Raja Vidya, the King of Knowledge. So I didn't think it was important. I left it. So later on, when my friend had to reset for his maths, I remember that, I saw a book in my father's box. The name was King of Knowledge, Raja Vidya. So probably it might have something to link with mysticism, something that can help my friend to pass his maths. So I went there, I took the book, and I gave it to my friend. I saw this book in my father's box. I think it will help you to pass your mathematics. So he took it, and truly he wrote, and he passed well. Still, my mind was not into any mysticism. I remember when we were kids, we used to do some herbal things, a lot of stupid, childish stuff that we do. Okay, if you're looking for this woman, you do ABCD, that kind of nonsense.
Tell us a brief story about those.
No, see, I have a lot. I remember there was this kind of rumors, I don't know, myth or something that says that if you're looking for a girl and if the girl pass water, you read it, there's some concoction when you go and put it in there, the lady will be following you. I remember this very well when we were just in JSS. And they were this lizard,
Yeah.
So you go and kill the lizard and they cut the head and you go and grind with some things. That kind of stupid thing. And we were doing, many of us, all the boys in the village would be doing.
Did it work?
Well, I say where? I remember one day, somebody, myself, I forgot, somebody tried, and after some time, the lady was kind of close. They say, the thing is working. See, that kind of funny, childish life. But, that was the idea. Everybody in the town, people were a little bit intrigued with spirituality and mysticism, but we didn't really have any real understanding. But I remember that because I was, my foundation was kind of religious, kind of like Christian religion belief, like strong faith. So any other thing that had to do with mysticism, I think I was a little bit interested, but I never thought that one day I'll get more involved like where I'm doing today. Until when, I remember one other story before I will tell you how I became a Krishna member. Okay. There was a guy in our village, our town. What's the name? I hope I'll be able to remember the name. He's a tailor now. He's still there. Okay. The when I went there recently, I was with him. Isaac. So he was in Dumasia, and he left Dumasia to go and stay in Odomase. So Dumasia and Domasi, they look the same but different. Okay. Dumasia and Odomase. Okay. So even Dumasia, I learned that Dumasia is under the Odomase kind of. So he went to live there for some time. So when he came back, he was my friend then. So when he returned back, we were still friends, but he was quiet, changed, and he was doing things that was weird. Like, he's quiet, you don't talk to people, he's always reciting some prayer and that kind of thing. But he looks like different as compared to how he was before. But he was my friend then. I remember he was a senior to me, but when I was in school, I was very smart. So he liked me. So I used to move out with him here and there. So this time around, he told me that, okay, he's going to the house, I should go with him. I've ever said this story before. I was a Baba when I was in JSS. Mm-hmm. So weekends, I used to Baba people to get some money to facilitate our education like that. So I think I finished shaving somebody and he said, let's go and do something. So I followed him. So when we were going, he was picking flowers on the way. And we knew that people that deal with flowers are juju people, people that call saints, that kind of thing. Yeah. So I was like, this guy that I'm following with flowers, is he going to kill you? Sacrifice me or something? So I said, okay. Then I removed my scissors and I hid it here. That when he tried anything. And truly, after packing all the flowers, we went to his house, his room. And before we entered the room, I could smell a very nice, beautiful scent. So I was afraid. Hey, this guy, he left the Messiah for some time. Now he's been here less than a week, and this guy is doing these weird things. Maybe he has gone for some juju, and they want to come and use me to sacrifice me for some god. So we entered, and when we entered, there was a red light in the room. And there was a curtain. I remember on the wall, some curtains like that. So he removed the curtains, and I could see some weird forms, pictures, things to me that was very scary. Okay. Horrible stuff, like things that according to a Christian, you see those things, the demons, that kind of thing. So he sat down cross-legged and he took a bell, started ringing, and he was waving the incense, like that, waving the incense. So I removed my scissors and I held it very tight. That time, also, I think I was doing martial arts. I remember. Yeah, maybe. I think I was into martial arts. So I held the scissors. That if a guy try anything, either I die or he dies. So he offered the incense like that, ringing the bell. After he took some flowers, the flowers that he was picking, he offered all the flowers like that, offered them. So he sat down and he started mantra, something like that. I remember he was doing something like that. So when he finished, now he turned back and looked at me. He said, now I'm a Hare Krishna person and this is what I'm doing. It's a beautiful thing. I like you, so I want you to introduce you. So in the room, I was shaking. So I didn't say anything, whether I was interested or not. So after some time, he gave me some of the flowers that he offered. After he fixed the flowers in front of the pictures, he took some, he smelled it and said, I should take it. It's a very good thing for me. I took the flower. I remember this very well. But I wanted her to go out quickly because I was so not very happy in the room because I was thinking probably you want to use this strategy before I realized, no, it hit my head or something. So I wanted us to quickly leave the room. So after some time, we left. And he said, don't go and be telling people about this. I like that's why I want to introduce to this. JSS. Don't forget, I had the same experience when I was in class 6.
Yeah.
And in the Bhagavad Gita, he says something that anyone that hears the word Hare Krishna, a seed of devotion is sowed in your heart, and one day you become a devotee.
Wow.
So what happened is we went out, and now I was like happy with it because he started telling me a lot of things about it. And truly, this guy was in this our town. Now he's a change. If we look at him, you see this, he possesses some kind of energy. And fortunately, he didn't tell anybody, he told only me. So we used to walk around at times, he would pick the flowers, I'll follow him, he go and do the same. Now I was no more afraid because I noticed there was nothing like anything like sacrifice, you want to kill him or something. So I think some Tuesday times I went with him, pick the flowers, went to go and do the worship like that. So something happened, and I think when I started SS, I think whether he was no more in the town or something, but there was no connection between me and him going to his place. So we completed SS, and after some time, I had to come to Accra. So when I was coming to Accra, I saw the Hare Krishna signboard at the junction.
For the third time.
For the third time, some junction, with the pictures and Hare Krishna temple. So I told the driver that I want to alight. So I alighted and I followed the signboard all the way. So when I got to the temple, I remember there was somebody fetching water from a well in front of the temple. The well is still there. And he was having this hair, a tuft of hair here, long. And he was wearing some dress. That kind of dress is it's a dress that probably I've never seen before. Only when I was a kid. But it never occurred to me that it's the same kind of dress that these people were wearing when I met them with my father. So I told him that I want to come and worship with them. So when he spoke, I noticed he wasn't a Ghanaian. He was a Nigerian or Syrian or something. He wasn't Ghanaian. So it's okay. Then he directed me because he was fetching the water. It's okay. Pass through here. The first, second room. Somebody is there in the office. You can go and talk to the person. So when I was about entering the temple, I saw that the altar was open. And I could see this Muftis deity standing there. No pictures, but by human form.
Wow.
Yes, from the outside. And that was my first time seeing something like that. So I was afraid. So when I checked, I noticed that there's a road in front of the temple that leads outside there. So I said, let me just go and pass behind. Maybe there's a link for me to go through that I don't see the deities. And truly, when I walked behind the building, I noticed there was a way there. So I passed through all that and went to the office. So when I got there, I remember His Grace Ramanuja Prabhu, one of the devotees, was there. And I sat down, he asked me my mission. I told him, I want to come and join the church. And I was like, who preached to you? I said, nobody preached to me. Is it that you met the devotees out there and the director? I said, no. So how did you get to know? I said, no, I was just passing, I saw the signboard, and I felt I should come and then
Just like that.
just join. He was surprised. Because according to him, people come there because probably they met devotees out there, they pick books and they want to come and see, or somebody directed him. For somebody coming from nowhere, you were not, directed by a devotee, not that you met them out there. So he was surprised. So we had a discussion and I said, I want to join. So it's okay. Take this book. I remember he gave me a small tract of book. The name is The Transcendental Teachings of Prahlad Maharaj. It's a very tract book and it's a very wonderful book. So I said, okay, I think it was on Tuesday. So I told him I would like to come to the temple. I asked him, when do you worship? Because I'm coming from the SDA background, I was thinking probably the worship on Saturday. They said, no, the worship on Sunday. So I said, okay, if that's the case, I will come on Sunday. And it's okay, he will be going to Nigeria that weekend. So he wants to introduce me to the temple president. That this young guy wants to join us, so he will be coming on Sunday. Please take care of him when he's here. So he went to that office and he told the president, it's okay. I got home and I sat down, I read that book. I didn't stand up. I was sitting reading the book until when I finished the book. I was like, wow, this book is nice. So the following day, I think on Wednesday, I went back to the temple and I met the man.
The same man.
The same man that received me when I went there the previous day. So I told him, I'm done reading the book and I want to read more. So wow, just only one night? I said, yes, I love it. So he gave me another book. So this book happened to be the book I gave to my friend, Raja Vidya, the King of Knowledge. So as soon as I I saw the book. I said, I have ever seen this book before. So he asked me, and I explained how I opened my father's box, and then I saw it all that. So I went there, and within a short time, I finished reading the book also. Not one night, I think 2 days or so. So Sunday, I came to the temple. I remember I was wearing some brown trousers. I will never forget. This is many years ago. I had this Jirija dress, like this kind of material, brown one, and I have some shoe. I remember. I used to have sporting waves.
Wow.
I had a very nice sporting waves. I remember with this shirt, with a brown trouser with the shoe. So when I got there, I had to remove my shoe. We went to the temple room, and they said we have to sit down cross-leg. It was not very convenient.
You weren't used to.
Yeah, you're not used to that. So sat down like that. After the whole class, then they said we have to do worship, the blue cone shape, like that. What is this? They opened the altar, and I saw this personality standing there, beautiful, smiling.
Not the image.
The image.
The image.
Yes. So I was like, this is beautiful. So we started. And I remember a song we sang now. Anytime I hear that song, I remember the very first day I went to the temple. It goes like, Kiba Jayo, Jayo Gora Chande, Aratiko Soba. Anytime I hear this stance, I remember the very first day I went to the temple.
What does it mean?
So Kiba Jayo, like all of you gathered together as we are about worshiping the Supreme Lord.
Wow.
I never knew the meaning. So as the man started, Kiba Jayo, Jayo Gura Chande, Aratiko Soba, Shana Vitata Bani, like that. So we started singing and they started moving. All of them, they're church people, like they have the same dressing with a dhoti. I got to know that's the name.
Okay.
The dress were not sewn, like some bedsheet wrapped in a way, but it looks like trouser and top. So they got to a point, they started singing something. Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shri Vasadi Gura Bhakta Vrinda. That God, some years back, came in 5 personalities. One person came in 5 personalities. With a different name, but the same person. That's the song. So as soon as they got to that point, all of them started moving forward.
Okay.
So they'll move together, they'll come back. To and fro, like that. It was a beautiful thing. And I remember the Shivas, the president, he's a tall man. So he raised his hand like this, and the way he danced the thing, it was so enticing. I was like, this thing is nice. So after the whole thing, they said we have to sit down and do law feast. So they laid mats, and we all sat down, and then they started serving us food. And the Shivas himself, the president, he was there.
Okay.
And other people, they were not young people. They all came with pots. They started serving us. And I learned they're vegetarians. They don't eat meat. But the food was just nice. I remember it was wache.
Mm-hmm.
It was wache. There was no meat in there. But I saw something that looks like cow meat. So the food was nice. So I remember asking somebody, but you say you don't eat meat, but I'm seeing something. I said, no, it's not meat. This one is called chunks.
Okay.
The soya chunks that you use from soya beans. I love the food. So those that were, so I remember asking them, can I have a pack? So I remember one guy, he didn't call me. He's no more around here. I don't think he has traveled or something. He packed some for me. So when I was in the car, that time they were having a black car van that transported members from town. So after the whole program, we were about 15 of us that sat in the van. So when we were going, a devotee wearing saffron, which was Brahmachari, his name is Jagavas, he's my very good friend now. He was in the car. Said, if you have any question, ask. So from mid-year to circle, we were all asking questions because they knew that probably in the temple you were feeling timid to ask questions. So they would put one devotee in that car to be answering questions. So they were asking so many questions. To be honest, I loved it. I was staying, at that time, my brother, where I visited, around Adabraka. Okay. So that's where I was staying, at the back of Otamis. So when I got down at Circle, I have to walk all the way to Adabraka. So I walked, and I loved the whole thing. So when I go home, I go and eat the food, the second one. It was just nice. So I remember the following week, I came. So when we were going, so in the car, I said, But me, the vegetarian, meant to me, you are difficult to me. Who says you're vegetarian of the animal? Like, I don't know how to prepare the vegetarian dish. So there's this woman, Mother Jarati. She is there now. So she said, oh, it's easy to become a vegetarian. Don't you know how to prepare beans? I said, yeah, I can prepare beans. She said, yeah, prepare beans, put tomatoes and pepper and whatever spice you have, put it in there. Now you can cook rice. So you eat, you're vegetarian.
Okay.
So yeah, he just told me this. So I said, oh yeah, simple. So the following day, that was Monday, I went to the town, I went to go and buy some small stove. I think that stove, I still have it now.
Wow.
I bought some small stove, a small aluminum cooking pot. I think I bought 3 of them. So I started.
We need a picture of those.
Yes. I don't know whether I will have it. I think she should have it because I remember something happened. I went to Nigeria. When I was going to Nigeria, I carried them. When I returned from Nigeria, I brought the same thing. But now I don't know where, probably it might be somewhere. I can't find it. So I started preparing my beans. So when I prepared the beans and I bought the plain rice, I mix it and eat. In the morning, I go and buy porridge, cocoa, and eat. In the afternoon, I remember, so Mama was selling yam. So in the afternoon, I go and buy yam, and I use some of my beans to eat it.
Okay.
In the evening, if I'm able to prepare the rice, I'll go and buy rice, take the salad, then I come and add the beans. That's what I was doing for a long time. Beans, rice, like I was eating for a long time, and I was never fed up with it. Until when I started knowing, there's a book called The Higher Taste. The Higher Taste gives you all the skills how to prepare for different kind of preparations. So I got that book. I started preparing normal stew with cabbage and all that in there to make me feel happy. How to prepare soup and all that. So I was very consistent in the temple and very serious. So see, this period, if I tell you my life at that time, before then I was a Christian, but we had so many questions. What actually even gave me that conviction that this place will be good for you is that there were many questions that I used to have as a Christian. When you ask, probably you'll be answered, but the answer is not satisfactory. But just by reading the first book, most of the questions were answered.
Okay.
And many other things that probably was difficult for me to comprehend, now it's so much easy. So I felt this is right. So I was very serious. I remember that time, those of you that remember, TV3, they were showing Sunset Beach. That time, there was this series, Sunset Beach. It was so popular. I don't know now of any series that's very popular now. That time, every night from 7 to, I think, 8, everybody would go and watch Sunset Beach.
It's ringing in my ear.
Trust me, it was very famous and popular that time. So I was watching it. It's something I would never miss for anything. But when I started reading the books, I lost interest in them. Now I stopped watching television.
Why?
Like, my time was so occupied. Like, every now and then I want to read more. I want to see what is in the book, what is ahead. You know, that kind of thing. So I was not having time for the TV anymore. So I stopped watching television. Now, even the normal friends that I used to have before, we used to talk, no friend.
Okay.
Because I remember this very well, that I had a bead, the rosary that we used for our prayers, that in the afternoon I would just be reciting the prayer all the time. In the evening, before I sleep, I'll go and read, and then I recite more before I sleep. Like, I was so much into this thing. See, it's like somebody was mad. Not mad in the form of dressing, but I was so focused on this. So I think the temple noticed this. The temple noticed. So one day I was there when the president, the Shrivas, now he's a Maharaj, now he's a guru now. He mentioned my local name. He said, I see you to be very committed and very dedicated. And I have seen you talking to people 2-3 times. You are a good preacher. I never knew I could preach. He said, you will be a good preacher. So we want one devotee, mentioned the name Sahadev. He's in the US now.
Okay.
We want him to train you to become a preacher in the future. So I said, okay. So every Sunday, when I'm going to the temple, I'll go to the Sahadev first. At times I'll go and wash his things. I'll go and wash his dresses. I will shave him. Then I'll be asked questions in the course of all this service. Like that. So he used to go to Radio Good to go and have programs. So he'll tell me I'm going to radio, so you should tune and listen to me, how I answer the questions and all that. So I was serious. I was very committed. That I was just so much committed because the thing was nice. You read the books and all your questions are answered. So it got to a point, my brother was in Nigeria then. So he told me he wanted to go to Spain and I was having a shop. So I should come and take care of the shop for him to go. So I remember going to the temple, informing the temple that, okay, I want to go to Nigeria because my brother is there. And is there any temple in Nigeria? So yeah, there's a temple there. 7 and 8 bus stop, Ajao Estate. So I took the address. I think I went on Wednesday, we went to the Nigeria. So when I got there, on Friday, I wanted to look for the temple. So I went throughout, and yes, Nigeria is a terrible place. The way they drive, everything was so bad. Their vehicles will not even stop for you to get down. Mm-hmm. They won't stop for you to enter. You have to jump out. This thing I'm talking about now is something I remember very well. So I sat in the car from Agege. They said the car is going to Osodi. Okay. But on the way, they have about 20 bus stops on the way. And all the bus stops, the car will not stop. The person had to jump out. Hey. It's serious. So I was like, hey. So if I get to my bus stop and I have to jump out like that, how am I going to jump out this way? So when we were going, I kept on asking, where's the Osodi? Where's the Osodi? So he got to a point, one guy said the Osodi is after three bus stop of this bus stop. So that here, there was some car parked in front of our car, so the car stopped. So I got down. Because I don't know, maybe when I get to the Osodi bus stop and this car don't stop, how am I going to get down? Okay. And Nigeria, everything seems completely different as compared to Ghana. It's like a different hell.
Yeah, survival mode.
Nigeria is a different place. So I was just timid. So this bus stop, I got down. I have to walk like from here to Achimota before I got to the Osodi. Wow. It was a long distance. So when I got to Osodi, they were calling. So I said, I'm going to 7 and 8 bus stop. That's where the temple is. So yes, you see here, I sat down. The 7 and 8 bus stop was the last bus stop. So from there, they have to 10. So that one, they can't stop. Okay. I got out, I remember I crossed the road. So there was a Okada man there. They told me when you get there, that time there was no mobile phone for you to be calling. So you have to just be following the direction that was given to me from Ghana. So I remember I saw this Okada rider. That was my first time sitting on a motorbike. So I asked him, I'm going to the Ayebiafo temple. He said, it's 20 naira. It's okay. For me, I thought 20 naira was okay. That's okay. I saw the motorbike. The guy just went at the back of the house. I said, so this guy, if I'm going here, he could have told me it's just this house.
Just a walking distance.
It's like just back of my house here. He just passed like this and say, oh yeah, give me my 20 naira. That's okay. So I just paid him. So he just cheated because he knew I didn't know the place. I went there. The temple is a big story building, like about a 4-story building. Nice place. So I told him I'm from Ghana, and I mentioned the devotee's name, and this is my name. So I just came newly, and I want to start worshiping with them. They were very happy. So I started going there. There are many things I learned in devotions I learned from Nigeria. Okay. They're having a program every Saturday. They used to go for something called Bhakti Vrisha, where new members meet, and then you go and learn many new things. And every Tuesday was cooking lesson day. So the Tuesday, there was an Indian who would teach us how to prepare vegetarian preparation. The pie, the cake, everything. Wow. So every Tuesday, I'll go and learn how to prepare. So I was good when it comes to cooking. Then on Saturday, we go for Bhagavad Gita class to go and learn. And then Sunday, I'll go to temple. So all these 3 days, I was participating. I was very serious like that. So after some time, I felt Nigeria was not the place that I could stay for long.
Why do you say
There were many terrible things. I remember once I was going somewhere, I sat in the car and I paid 500 naira. So I kept on asking the mate, please, my change. He said, wait, I'll give you change. After some time, my change, like that. So I asked him like 3-4 times. The mate said, I won't give you the change. Come and beat me.
Just like that?
Just like that. So in the car, so I kept quiet. And the conductors, they are very strong. You see their faces now. They fight all the time, so you see bruises all the time. And you see they'll be doing this. Even when they are walking in there, they are doing boxing. They are that kind of terrible people. You call them agberos. Okay. So I said, okay, I didn't say anything. So there's one man who was sitting down there. I said, he saw me to be a gentle guy who was not ready for this nonsense. So he said, how much is supposed to give you? So I mentioned. So he gave me his own money. And tell the conductor, I bring change. Bring the change to me. So the guy saw that this guy was ready to fight with him. So now he gave him the change. And many other things. Every road in Nigeria has a gate. Okay. By 10 p.m. or 11 p.m., they lock it. Wow. I'm telling you this.
Is it an estate or just...
Not estate. Everywhere in Nigeria, In Lagos, I don't know of other states, but Lagos, like see the road from here to Ayebiafo side, this side,
Okay.
there will be a gate there. So in the night, they will lock here and they will lock here.
For security reasons.
For security, because armed robbers are everywhere. That time, Lagos was terrible. So looking at the whole thing, I thought, no. I remember sometime the Yorubas and the house, they had an issue. Within 3 days, we couldn't go out. And when they are allowed to go out now, the whole road was full of cops.
Wow.
They have killed people. So Nigeria, I thought, Nigeria was not very good for me. So I decided to come back to Ghana. So when I came back to Ghana, I went straight to my town, Domesia. So I stayed there for some time. And I noticed my people were looking at me in a very weird way.
Before we come to your people, didn't anybody discourage you?
Oh, there was a lot of discouragement. A lot. I remember in Adabraka, there was a fellowship that we were all participating in. There's one, the guy, Pastor Abankwa and Elder John and Abankwa. They're from one of these charismatic churches. So was it Tuesday? I've forgotten the day. They used to come there for us to have discussion. So after some time, I think some of the boys told these pastors that this man is going to some Indian church. So one day after the evening session, he called me and he said he had attending some Indian church. He was a member before. I was like, wow. But they got to a point, noticed that they were drinking human blood, they were eating human flesh. That's why he stopped.
Okay.
So I was afraid. I said, really? I said, yes. They were drinking human blood, they were eating flesh, and he saw that eating human flesh and human blood, it was too bad, so he stopped. Me, I have been a controversial person all my life. So I said, okay, Pastor John, I think we used to call them Elder John. Okay, you saw that what they were doing was bad and you stopped. Truly, me, I'm a Christian from childhood. I've been Christian all this way. If I discover that they drink blood and eat human flesh, I'll stop. You saw it, you stopped. So if I see it, I'm going to stop. But so far, I have not seen anything like they even killing animals. So the man noticed that I was not ready to bow to his whatever advice he wanted to give me. So I was just going, and they were doing their fellowship. So I got to a point I stopped. But I noticed all the things they were talking about, the Bible and all that. This was no childish to me. I stopped.
Then did he truly join the Krishna movement?
So after some time, when now I noticed, I became very serious. And almost all the books, I've gone through them. And the books will tell you, don't harm anything. Whatever you do to other beings, not only human beings, will come back to you. And for that purpose, they don't even kill anybody. They're all vegetarians. So now I was very convinced that, yes, now Hare Krishna, they don't eat meat. That now, even there's any secret behind that, I don't know. Now I'm very much aware that they are vegetarian. They don't eat meat. So I went there one day when they were having their lessons in the evening. So after I sat down and said, hey, brother, they mentioned my name. So a long time now you come and say, yes, today I want to worship with you. So normally after the whole thing, they will say, if you have any question, ask. So I asked them, Elder John, do you remember some months ago you told me you have ever been the Hare Krishna person before and they used to eat meat and drink human blood? Now I've read all their books and they are vegetarians. They don't even kill mosquitoes. So he started smiling, saying, yes, God loves you so much. And we felt that Satan is taking you away. So we wanted to, discourage you from going to that church. So I've never attended before. And I just want to say something to discourage you.
Wow.
He said this. So I said, Elder, if you were able to lie, this kind of big lie like this, so it means that all that you have been telling us about God could be lies. I don't think I will join this again. I left. And that was the end of that fellowship. It never came again.
Wow.
So all the boys saw that, yes, what I said was true. Because if a whole pastor or elder, you could just give this big lie to the point that people used to drink blood, which is even criminal. That if the government finds out that some people are drinking blood, they could even go to jail.
Yes.
So for you to speak that kind of big lie, it means that there's nothing you can say. So, and truly, that was the end of the fellowship. That's when the boys started listening to me. Because they noticed that if because of me, these people are not coming again, it means that whatever I said was something profound. So they started following me, and I started talking to them about it. I remember some people from my village, Domesia, that were living around that area, followed me. They used to follow me to the temple. The time when I'm going on Sunday, they follow me, but none of them took it serious.
Okay.
But me, I was very serious with it. So when I went to my Dumesuya.
From Nigeria.
From
to
Nigeria,
Dumesuya.
I came to Accra 2 days. When I came, I was staying in the hotel. So I came with all my things.
Okay.
Because I knew I was not going back to Nigeria again. So I went to Dumesuya. When I went to Dumesuya, my people were looking at me in a very weird way. It's like, this guy is some demon or something like that. My mom would not talk to me. My sister, nobody would talk to me. So what is happening? But I was very serious. I wake up very early in the morning. 3 a.m. I'm up. Take my shower, I take my beat, and I'll be going around the house. I'll be chanting the prayers. And I remember my mom will be preparing the soup. You know, she used to sell kokunte, bangu, and those things early in the morning. So she wakes up early to start doing the preparation. She won't talk to me. I'll be like that, walking around the house. In the morning, I'll bring my stove, the same stove. I'll bring it with my aluminum cooking pot. I'll prepare my own food. I'll do right now. I can prepare nice stew because I've gone through how to prepare vegetarian food, prepare nice food. And the people that knew me before, that were not afraid of, some were afraid. They couldn't come to me. But those who were afraid, they will come and we sit down and we eat together. So when I prepare rice in the morning, the stew is enough. So I leave some in the evening. I can prepare maybe yam or something with the same stew.
Okay.
So after about 2 weeks or so, early in the morning, when I finished reciting my prayer, my mom called me and said, I know you. You've changed. So if it's because of this church that you have changed, then the church is good. You can go.
You know the relationship between you and your mom.
Yeah.
When she wasn't speaking with you, how?
It was something, because when I was in Accra, my mom told me, I got a message that my mom said she learned I'm going to some Indian church. So if I don't stop, when she dies, I shouldn't even come to a funeral.
Wow.
Yeah. So within this period, my mom would not talk to me. I was not eating their food, but we were all living in the same house. So when she said this, that this church is good for you because you have changed so much. You've changed so much. So if your change is due to the church, then the church is good for you to go. I was so pleased because I was not feeling comfortable at all. My mother was not in agreement. So this time around, I was so happy. So I live a while. There's a temple in Sunyani. So every Sunday, I'll go. And even at times, ordinary days, I'll go and stay there a whole day, then come back in the evening. So it got to a point, my senior sisters, and they were not happy with me, kind of. So the way they were doing things, when they are even talking, I'm coming, they will keep quiet. See, that kind of thing. It's like they're gossiping about you and saying things. Yeah. So I felt it wouldn't be good for me to stay in this family house. I'm a young boy, don't forget, I'm a young guy at that time. Just completed this. So I think I have to leave. So I went to Sunyani Temple. I told the president that I think I have to leave here. He was very disturbed because I was supporting him. I go there, we do the cleaning of the compound and all that. And on Sunday, I'll go to the kitchen to go and prepare the food for the congregation to come and eat. So I told him I have to leave because I don't feel comfortable because my people there, they are Christians, and they don't seem to understand what I'm doing. They feel probably I'm doing something negative, something evil. I don't feel comfortable, so I just want to leave. And I remember my uncle, who were very good. That time, every evening, even though I was not eating their food, I have to go and pound the food for him. During the days, he was a farmer. I have to follow them to farm. At times, you have to go and pluck tomatoes. I was doing everything like a minion servant to him. So one day, I went to the temple during Jamastami. Normally, Jamastami is a festival. We do it around 12 a.m. So I went there in the evening, and I told them that I'll be coming the following day because we will finish very late in the night, and I don't think it would be prudent for me to come back that night. So I'll come the following day. When I was coming from Nigeria, I had this doorbell. It's like telephone.
Okay.
So when you ring the bell, you pick the telephone from the room, the handset from the room, that you can be able to hear the person at the gate. So I had one from Nigeria. So in the morning, when we finished the Jamastami celebration around 12 midnight, there was a devotee who drives. He was going to Siatre. That means that he'll pass through Dumesuya before in Siatre. So I told him, please take me so that I can alight at Dumesuya. So he did that. So around 2 a.m., when everybody's sleeping in the house, that's the time I came. So they didn't know that I was there in the night. So in the morning around 5 to 6, my uncle came to the house. Now he was talking to my sisters, and they were saying a lot of bad things about me. Terrible things. So I was hearing my name. Just what is happening? So I took the handset from the room. And because of that thing out there, I was hearing all that they were saying. For about 30 minutes, they were saying many horrible things about me. So when they finished, in the morning when I wake up after brushing my teeth, I went to my uncle. But I said, you said you were going for a program and you come back this morning. I said, no, I came around 2 a.m. When I came, I was reading throughout the whole night. I didn't sleep. So I was awake. I wanted him to know that I heard whatever they said. I was awake all night. He said, really? I said, yes. I said, okay. So after some time, he told me, Cobra, 2 weeks from today, remind me that I said I want to tell you something. I said, okay. So exactly the 2 weeks, I asked him if you wanted to tell me something. So wait, another 2 weeks, remind me. So it was like that for about 2 months. He was not telling me. So when finally I decided to move out of Dumesuya to come to Accra, my uncle's best friend, Brian Boa, these people, they are part of the Nkoso fan club now.
Wow.
They are the executives. So they are old people now. That time my uncle was just a young man. He was married. I think he was having only one son at that time. Now he's having 3 or 4 now. So I told my uncle's best friend, Brian Boa, I said, Ofa, see, my uncle do A, B, C, D. And I know he's killing him. Because he's thinking that maybe I didn't hear. Or maybe I heard. So he's really, really dying in silence. Because I told him I was there throughout the whole night. I didn't sleep. So it means I heard him. But if I heard him, why is that I have not asked him and I have not changed? The same thing I used to do for him, pounding his fufu, going to farm with him, fetching water for him. I'm doing the same thing.
That thing is very dangerous.
So that's me. And up to now, that's how I do things. I have not changed. The same thing I do.
Wow.
So you think I don't know, I know. But see, I won't allow the way you do things to change me. No. I'm the same like that now. So my uncle, he's saying I heard, or I didn't hear. It's killing him. So I am living today. Wait, tomorrow tell him I said I heard everything. But he's my uncle, and I don't think I'm offended. I'm not offended. So you should know that I'm not keeping it in my heart. If not, it's troubling him. So I left. Until later, after some time, when I went back to Dumesuya, my uncle said, hey, that check is good for you. I was dying. If you just recently when I went to Dumesuya, he told this story to the people that he was dying like anything. So I went for a long time, and now I decided to go and stay in the temple.
Okay.
That was my plan.
Okay.
So when I got there, I told one of the devotees that I need to rent a place. So they got a single room for me. I paid for it. That's why I was staying. So that I have full time to go to the temple morning, afternoon, evening. So one day I was there when they said they are going out for preaching and they want me to go. I said, me? I was just a mere member. I said, no. We see you to be a serious person and you have a very great future. I remember one devotee, his name is Satyaki, is there, told me, sir, you will be a great person in the future. So we want today to be the beginning of that greatness. I was happy. So he removed his own dress, the one he was wearing that time. He went to the room, he removed the dress to top and down. I said, wear this. And he was their powerful preacher at that time. Anytime Ghana, they will go anywhere for preaching, he's the one that speaks. So he removed the dress and said, go and wear this.
Does the dress signify anything?
I don't know. I don't know exactly, but I think that there was a lot of Shakti energy inside the dress. So I went there, the dhoti, I don't know how to even tie. So one devotee followed me to the room and they have to help me to do the tie and they wear the top. When I came out, everybody said, wow. Like that. I remember this very well. So we went out, we went to Koforidia. So normally when the preacher finished speaking, they give us books to approach people, those that need a book. And then the books we're not selling them for donation. So you take book, you give donation. There were senior people among them. I was just a new person, somebody who doesn't know much. So we went there, we went to about 3 places that day to do the preaching. And when we came back, I was first. Among all about 15, 20 people, I distributed more books than anybody. And the donation I received was bigger than anyone's. It was like, so in the morning, Mangarati, they will open the altar. After everything, they will announce the result to the deities. That yesterday, Harinam, this is the collection. They will mention the devotee's name, distributed this book, and received this donation. Like that's when it got to my name, Bhakta Charles. That was my name, Bhakta Charles. Distributed this and this. Haribo! Everybody in the temple room, because I was just a new person that joined the team, and like I've surpassed everybody. So, like that, they started adding me anytime they are going out. Said, no, you should join us. Okay. So now, not only daily basis, but when they are traveling, at times the whole month, they're out there preaching, I have to join them. And all this while I was not preaching, I was just distributing. So I remember one day we went to Western Region session. So before I didn't know that they have discussed in the car that today, this spot, we will allow but a chance to preach. I didn't know. And normally when we are doing our kit and that, I dance strong, like serious dancing. And after dancing, you'll be tired, you need to catch up with your breath and all that. So just after the dancing, they said, you should go and preach. I was so tired, breathing heavily. So I took the microphone. And anytime our main preacher was preaching, I will sit close by where he's standing. You see, we normally go with the car.
Okay.
So we park the car, we put the books on the screen of the car, and we connect the microphone from the car. So the microphone straight from the car. So I will sit in front of the car.
Okay.
And I will be listening to whatever he's saying. All throughout about 2 or 3 months. So when they gave me the microphone that I should speak, I have never, spoken in front of a crowd. There were a lot of people there. So I said, what do? I will just repeat all the things he has been saying. And, when I was in school, I had a guy named, they called me Baba Chas. I can just memorize a whole book in my mind.
Mm-hmm.
When we were in school, we were from village. So the school, they didn't respect us. We are from Dumasia is a village. There were people from St. Mary's and all the big schools. And we were going to do science. We are from village. So they were making fun of us. That kind of thing. So I remember the physics master came. He taught us about what physics stands for. The biology came, chemistry came. So I think the core science master, he came after about a week. Then he said, so far you are a new student here. Can anybody tell me what is science? So all these people from the BB school that they have big name, they are making fun of us. They will stand up and say, okay, science is A, B, C, D. They will say it. This one, they say science is A, B, C, D, like that. So I was afraid. And we were 4 from our village. We were all doing science, myself, George Chileme, Mark Chileme, and Asidu. We are 4 people that were all doing science. So they would say, I say, hey, these people, all these big people, children are saying something to you, you village man like that, you want to come and say something. I said, no, see. So I raised my hand. They asked me, what is science? So when I stood up, 10, 15 minutes, I was standing there, I was just talking about science. And not anything I have said to you, I was just repeating verbatim all the things the teacher have taught us. All the chemistry, I've memorized it. All the physics, memorize it. The biology, memorize it. So wow. I will just say, science says this. The biology side, then I'll repeat all the things we have studied in the biology, almost like 2 pages. I'll come to the physics. I'll say it. I'll come to the chemistry. Come and see the room. Hey! So the teacher said, who is good from you? I said, from Dumasia. I said, I can't believe this. So they gave me a guy named Baba Chas. Because I memorized all the things we have studied for about 2 weeks in my mind. So the whole thing is, my life has been like this. So when he was speaking, I memorized all the things. From the beginning, say he's speaking like about 1 hour. I have memorized all the things I've been saying verbatim. Exactly at what point do you say this? You read this story, that story. So when I took the microphone, I was saying the whole thing. I said everything from the beginning to the end. So when I entered the car, they said, you are amazing. How is it possible you can just memorize everything Satyaki Prabhu has been saying? I said, Prabhu, I have been listening to him. So that's okay. Now you'll be part of our preaching. So at that time when Satyaki speaks, then they'll give me the microphone. When they are distributing the books, then I will also speak. So you go to a point, Satyaki one day, I think he didn't join us. So when they said, Satyaki is not going, he's the main preacher. So now you have to be the main preacher. I said, okay. And I used to be nice. I dressed, I all my things, probably I put my nice tilak. My hair here was very long. My sika was long. So I remember when we finished one spot, we went to Kumasi Adum. So during our bhajans, our kirtans, a huge crowd. Hey, how am I going to speak in front of these people? Now I want to be the main speaker. So I took the microphone. Oh, brate. I don't know what possessed me that day. When I finished that day, all our books, we sold every single book that day, one day.
Wow.
We were going for 2 weeks.
So you plan on distributing for 2 weeks, but you used one day.
One day, the whole books will be. I remember this. I'm a small man. That time, because even now, see my size. And that time, I was just a short guy, slim. I'm even a little bit, I've put on weight. I was just some tiny guy. When I finished speaking, everybody was like, what? The whole books was finished. I know that like we have some oils and perfumes and different mystical things. We sold so much. So now they say, okay, now you have taken the position as the main preacher, so you preach all the time. But all this while, I've never been to India before. Okay, so all this while, I have been a celibate. Because when they join the movement, they have a group called the brahmacharis. People who don't engage in sex life. They are fully brahmacharis, celibate students. And then we have the grihasta. Grihasta are people that are married. Then we have the vanaprastha, people that have gone through marriage, but at their old age, they feel they don't want to get involved with marriage. They want to focus and then do preaching.
Okay.
Then we have the sannyasi. So we have 4 groupings in Krishna consciousness. So later, I noticed that, okay, as a beginner, you have to be a brahmachari, staying out of sex, focus more on the studies so that you can become more powerful. So all this while I was a celibate. So after some time, they noticed that I was a very good preacher, that I'm able to talk to people, speak the philosophy, and people understand easily. So the leadership felt, this boy is doing so well. We have to send it to India. So that at least you go to where this all stuff is coming from. And from India, he will be impacted. He will be given Shakti, some energy, some spiritual powers, so that he can do this work of preaching and preaching and preaching. So when I was told that I have to make preparation to go to India so that I can go, at that time we have to go during Gora Punima. Gora Punima is the most powerful festival of Krishna consciousness. And if you go to Mayapur, every spiritual person throughout the whole world that is devotee try to come to Mayapur during the Gora Punima time. Mm-hmm. So I was told you have to go to India to prepare yourself so that you can come back and do the preaching and do all the things that you want to do. There are many things you can do now. You must first take initiation. You must be ordained. You must have some kind of ability before you can start this. So from there, I have to make arrangement to go to India to start my real spiritual journey.
So you must have some kind of ability before you start your India.
That is the part. If not, you can't.
So we'll be discussing that in our next part. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Thank you very much.